What is up guys, Julien here of Social Vignerons, back with another wine video. Today I'm happy to announce that I'm tasting some California wines. Today I'm tasting sparkling wines from Domaine Carneros up north in the Napa Valley. This is episode 21 of the Tasting with Julien series. I am particularly happy to be tasting some California sparkling wines today because, as you probably know, I live in France, I'm based here in France, and those wines, as most of US wines, are very hard to get by here in France. So a big thank you to Domaine Carneros for sending these over all the way across the ocean. Also, Siri just did something weird here. Also, I do love my French champagne house, but I've had the opportunity to taste Domaine Carneros wines before, and I find they have a little je ne sais quoi, a little something special to them that are...
Sorry, I couldn't find US one South in Argel-sur-Mer.
California sparkling wines in general have a little je ne sais quoi, a little bit different. It's always good to taste different things, especially out of California. So today I'm gonna be tasting Domaine Carneros 2014 Estate. This is the main cuvée by Domaine Carneros. Domaine Carneros Rosé 2013 Ultra Brut, bone dry, super crisp, expectedly Methode Traditionnelle cuvée Ultra Brut, and finally, I will be tasting 2011 Le Rêve, The Dream by Domaine Carneros. See you in a bit. Domaine Carneros is a very special wine estate by many regards. First of all, it's based obviously in the Carneros AVA of Northern California. This is an AVA by the San Pablo Bay, neighboring the San Francisco Bay, so they get a lot of cool, very cool breezes, influence of the very cold ocean. So they get a very special cold climate, particularly suited for making crisp and elegant sparkling wines, as opposed to the Napa Valley or the higher parts of Sonoma that are much richer, much warmer, and that are better for growing Cabernet Sauvignon and big reds. Down there in the Carneros, it's cold, it's fresh, so the wines are crisp and zesty and tasty. Secondly, Domaine Carneros was started by a French champagne maker, very famous French champagne maker, Taittinger. Mr. Taittinger, all across the 1970s, was looking for a special site in California where he could translate, he could transport his savoir-faire, his know-how about making sparkling wines into California to make great, fine sparkling wines. And he found it in the Carneros, so he founded Domaine Carneros, and that's why it's called Domaine Carneros by Taittinger, founded 1987. So fairly long history of making wine in that area for Domaine Carneros. Furthermore, the Chateau itself at Domaine Carneros, if you've ever driven from Sonoma to the Napa Valley, is a fantastic, superb chateau. It's a big, massive architectural chateau on the way. Beautiful estate. Domaine Carneros counts with about 350 acres of vineyards, if I'm not mistaken. Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, mainly two grape varieties grown there. About 2/3 of Pinot Noir, 225 acres, 1/3 Chardonnay. Domaine Carneros specializes in making sparkling wines. They do make some still Pinot Noir wines as well. I made a video about the Estate Pinot Noir by Domaine Carneros and the famous gate in another video. I'll link somewhere up here, so go and check this out if you're interested in the topic. But let's get on with the tasting. So first off is Domaine Carneros 2014 Methode Traditionnelle sparkling wines, obviously from the Carneros AVA. Domaine Carneros is now owned by Co-Brand, a famous importer and distributor, I think, of wines all across the United States. So Domaine Carneros Brut cuvée is the main cuvée, the most broadly distributed one, the cuvée that Domaine Carneros is most famous for. So let's see what it has to tell us. Nice. A fairly frothy wine, as we expect. The color is bright, the color is shiny, it's a nice bright lemon yellow color, shiny, touches of golden hue. This is a blend of about 2/3 Pinot Noir, 1/3 Chardonnay, and there's a hint, I think 2 or 3% Pinot Gris. So Pinot Gris, very fragrant, very full-bodied, round grape variety, so a hint of Pinot Gris maybe to give it a little lift of aromatic profile and a bit of rounder body as well. But otherwise 2/3 Pinot Noir, made as a white wine obviously, and 1/3 Chardonnay. This wine has spent about a full 3.5 years lying down in the bottle on its lees to get fuller body, to get all the goodness, extract all the goodness from the yeasts, the rounder body, and refine the mousse, refine the bubbles of the sparkling. Super delicate and attractive nose. It's very floral, there's some lilies, there's some elderflower. It's also very sweet and tasty and tempting, I want to say. It's citrusy, there's lime, there's lemon, there's orange. It's very zesty, very appealing. There's also this delicious, nice smelling, biscuity, cooked just out of the oven, cookie biscuit smell, brioche butter. It's a little bit smoky as well, so it's very, very elegant, fruity, inviting, friendly. You just want to dig in and try it. This is indeed a super inviting sparkling wine. It's dry, it's pretty dry, but it's not overly dry. It's dry, but it's still soft, it's smooth, it's rounded, it's balanced. There's a crisp acidity cutting through the richness and the oily body. Loads of friendly flavors, flavors of apple, richly flavored apple, peach, apricot, always those fragrant flowers. It's like a bouquet, it's like a bouquet of flowers, fresh white flowers that would be handed over to you when you taste. So it's really fragrant, a basket of citrus, a bouquet of flowers, very friendly, very soft, creamy, super elegant, extremely drinkable, extremely enjoyable. So very complete, extremely drinkable, versatile sparkling wine, good for any occasions. Anyone can really love this Domaine Carneros, extremely well made. It's a great sparkling wine. This to me is a 90 plus out of 100 points wine, because it's gorgeous, because it's well made, getting into that world class, super well made, well crafted, desirable sparkling wine range. So definitely over 90 points for me, just above 90 plus out of 100. Moving on to Domaine Carneros Rosé. This is made from 60% Pinot Noir, 41% Chardonnay. So a little bit less Pinot Noir, a little bit more Chardonnay. So the rosé, as opposed to the white wine that is made by using red grapes but pressing them directly so you don't extract the color from the skins, the rosé is made by macerating the skins of the Pinot Noir grapes in tanks for a few days together with the juice. So the color that is present in the skin infuses this beautiful color into the wine. As you can see, the color on this rosé is slightly pale, super delicate, elegant, salmon pink color. It's definitely a very tempting, very enjoyable to look at, very glamorous pink hue. The aromas are rather delicate and somewhat introvert. There's a little bit of pomegranate, there's a little bit of blueberry, a little bit of strawberry, again a hint of biscuit and butter, elegant, subtle, not your pungently strawberry or pungently fruity sparkling wine. This smells like a fine, refined sparkling. The palate is super soft, super rich, super smooth. The bubbles are super fine. It's oily. It's coating your palate. There's a burst. While the nose was a little bit discreet, there's a burst, an explosion of flavors on the palate, but they are elegant and fine. It's an explosion of fresh berry fruits, an explosion of biscuits, sweet spices, much more spices are found than in the white Domaine Carneros. It's super soft, super feminine, super charming, dense and dry. This is a crowd pleaser as well. The body is just smooth and smooth and smooth, together with dryness and acidity. Don't get me wrong, it's not all about the smoothness. There is acidity, slightly drying tannins and a touch of savoriness to it. So this is going to be a food-friendly wine, but it's also extremely enjoyable with a big burst of citrusy and berry flavors on the palate, together always with the finesse of a great Methode Traditionnelle. So very well crafted rosé wine. If you're hesitating between the rosé and the white, I would say try both. There's quite different, but the rosé is perhaps a little bit more feminine, a little bit more charming, much more body, much more explosion of flavors, while the white wine has a little bit more tension, more floral, more elegant, more refined. The rosé is also around the 90 plus out of 100 points mark. Slightly different styles, but essentially the same level of quality. Moving on again to Ultra Brut, always Methode Traditionnelle, always aged on its lees. So Ultra Brut, this is about 50% Pinot Noir, 50% Chardonnay. So moving up the scale of Chardonnay, more Chardonnay, half and half, moving up the scale of Chardonnay. Ultra Brut essentially means that it is a drier style. There was about 9 grams of sugar added at bottling, just to round up the edges on the 2 previous wines. Ultra Brut halves the added sugar at 4.5 grams per liter. So tiny amount. We expect a drier, crisper, brisker style of sparkling wine. What is going to be interesting though, what I'm interested in is seeing how different the expression of the fruit character can be. This is 2013 as opposed to 2014 for the white Brut cuvée. So I'm interested in tasting how the expression of the fruit might be different, how the fruit selection might have been different for the Ultra Brut compared to the Brut. Nice pop. Like the Domaine Carneros Brut, bright and shiny, lemon yellow color. It's nice and vibrant and shiny. Maybe more green hues to this one. So the nose appears a little bit more austere, a little bit more vegetal. It is a little bit floral, but it is less fruity than the Brut. A little bit more vegetal, a bit more fennel, a bit more lime rather than lemon. On the palate, much like the Rosé, and we're finding a trend here, the body is super smooth, the bubbles are super fine. There is a coating element to the tasting that is just fantastic. The big difference though is that this is pretty much bone dry. There's a crisp acidity. The aromatic expression, the flavor expression is more restrained, is more on the floral, slightly vegetal. As I said, more like limey. This is like biting into a lime. You have to love acidity. This is a wine to drink with food, to drink with rich canapes, with duck, with salmon, with rich foods that are gonna help balance out the flavor profile. Powerfully floral and lime characters to this Ultra Brut. Certainly a wine that makes you salivate, certainly a wine that makes you want to dig into your plate of food, a rich creamy pasta, a nice creamy salmon, herbal salmon dish. This type of food, definitely a wine to go with oysters. They love their oysters around the San Francisco Bay. Certainly the perfect match for oysters. It's creamy and oily and coats the palate, but there's a lot of tension from the acidity together with hints of smoky biscuits as well. Very well rounded, very well crafted, super enjoyable Ultra Brut here. In terms of scoring, I would go even higher here because there's more refinement. There is this little je ne sais quoi of special expression. Acidity, the tension here goes one step beyond the other two. Certainly the mark of a very good Chardonnay in here, so I would go 91, perhaps 91 plus out of 100 points on this Ultra Brut. And now moving on to Le Rêve, the dream, the top end, the high-end cuvée of Domaine Carneros. This is 100% Chardonnay, estate grown. This is a signature wine from Domaine Carneros. So let's find out how good it is. This is 2011 vintage, so this is a 7-year-old wine. Domaine Carneros says if you want to cellar this wine, it should develop further. This is a wine that they recommend even cellaring for even longer. You know, most people think that sparkling wine doesn't age all that well. If it's a good, well-crafted sparkling wine with a lot of tension to it, with a lot of Chardonnay, a lot of acidity to it, it can definitely age and develop some more biscuit, more leathery, fine leather, bouquet, spices, and get more depth and more complexity to this aromatic profile. Certainly, as you can perhaps tell, there are much more golden hues to the profile. Expectedly, as wine ages, it develops more, white wine ages, it develops more golden, slightly amber hues, and there's touches of it to it, but not too much. This is not an too old of a sparkling wine. The aromatic profile is always very citrusy, a lot of lemon, a lot of lime, super pleasing, super tempting, but there is also a lot of nutty, toasted nuts, toasted hazelnut, macadamia, which makes it very, very tempting. It's biscuity like the others, but there's a nutty smokiness to it that makes it, to me at least, a lot more, even more appealing. Oh. Certainly this is a massive, huge amount of flavors. It's always super smooth and coats your palate. A great tension of the acidity, but you can feel that there is nothing absolutely nothing bothering your taste buds here. The acidity is here, it's present, it's giving a lot of tension, it's supporting the lime and lemon and citrus flavors, a lot of peach and pear and apple, crisp apple, a lot of acidity, a lot of freshness to it. But it's so rounded, the body is so perfect, the balance here is so perfect, so elegant, so smoothened by a long aging in barrel, a lot of richness from the lees, that there's nothing bothering. It's like a cloud of delicious fruit, a gorgeous delicious fruit. It's dry though, don't get me wrong, but it's so pleasing to the palate. So much going on. Finesse, elegance, development, a long finish. It's nutty, it's creamy, it's buttery, it's fruity, it's slightly spicy. Just a complete, utterly complete experience. This is simply, try all the others and try this. If you know a little bit about wine, you'll be able to tell that this is just a completely different universe. There is the signature Domaine Carneros tension, acidity, balance, smoothness of the bubbles, finesse, but it's just another level. There's just so much more going on. If the others were a bowl of flavors like this, this is a bowl of flavor like this. A fantastically well-crafted, exciting, rich wine. My mind is kind of running, and I'm really impressed with Le Rêve. I had never tried it before. Certainly a super interesting sparkling wine. In terms of scoring, this is a 93, 94 out of 100. Definitely getting into the top-notch sparkling wines of the world.
That we do the opportunity to get more nuance, more subtlety, more elegance. Awesome.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tasting with Julien. I hope you enjoyed me tasting some California wines. Try to make it a bit more compact, a little bit shorter. Today I know my videos are a little bit too long. I know that I spent too long talking about the wines, but you know, I love my wines. I love enjoying them and spending the time to honor the work of the winemakers. I totally respect the immense talent and the craft of Domaine Carneros. I've been super impressed by those, but I know for the audience it's a bit better when it's a little shorter. So I hope you enjoyed this video of Tasting with Julien. I do have some more champagnes coming up, and I do have some Chinese wines coming up very soon, so that should be very interesting. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and get ready for the holidays. They're coming up really soon, and I will see you soon in the wine world. Cheers.